Hi, Moira. Thank you so much for making time to share your thoughts with us today.
Glad to do that. It's really good to talk. I think it's important for us to all trade whatever knowledge and ideas we have to get us through this COVID-19 crisis.
Wonderful. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the firm?
Okay. In 1981, we started the firm here in Hong Kong with just a few people. And we had no idea when we started it then that we would become a global organization with more than 20 offices now around the globe and all interconnected. And our focus always has been on the workplace. Because when we started, Hong Kong was the entrepot to China for foreign companies, many of them from the US and from Europe, wanting to get into China. So they needed facilities, and there were not many people in Hong Kong who knew what to provide for them. So that was the niche that we started with, and it has simply grown over the years. Our services have grown, and we've grown geographically as well. So that the workplaces we do now are not only interiors, but also full buildings, campuses. The scale has increased and the scope of the work has increased.
Okay. Would you describe some of the difficulties and challenges that you've faced over the years?
Well, crises have happened in Hong Kong. I think this is the I think the fourth one that I can remember in the almost 40 years that we've been here. I think it was 1983 or 84, before the Hong Kong dollar was linked to the US dollar. There was a situation where the Hong Kong dollar was losing its convertibility very, very rapidly. So rapidly that many of our staff came to us and said, "Can you please pay us in US dollars instead of Hong Kong dollars?" And that was very scary because we didn't have very much support. We were not very large. It was very frightening, but we held on, we gritted our teeth, and thank goodness the Hong Kong government linked the Hong Kong dollar to the US dollar. That saved us, actually. But it was holding on and not panicking, I think, was the most important thing. Later on, another situation, I think it was in the early 90s or late 80s, I can't quite remember which, things slowed down drastically. The economy was really, really slowing down, and our focus at that time was still very largely in Hong Kong itself. So we were very worried about not getting any more projects. We almost panicked. We panicked to the point where we made a mistake. We went after a very large job that was not going to give us very much income, but was going to keep our people busy, and we won it. And then the crisis ended, and the jobs came back, and we couldn't take them because we were already tied up with what we had agreed to before. So, lesson, don't panic. You get through these things. The third crisis was 2008, which was global financial. And what happened was that without our realizing it, the US firms that we had been so dependent on in our growth in China, because we were already established in China at that time, were not really growing because of the financial stress that they were under. So, where are the jobs coming from? Aha, China was rising to the occasion. And as a result, we found, and we still have, and we are seeing the growth of the many, many Chinese private sector business clients. And this is really what saved us. We had to change our focus that we were pursuing. So that was a good lesson. Now, with COVID-19, the fourth crisis, as I recall, what we are doing is really pulling everybody together globally, because we are, all of our offices and all of our colleagues are interconnected. And when we don't have glitches on the connectedness like we've just had here today, then we are all helping one another and working globally as a single team. Or, well, I wouldn't call it a single team. It's almost like a clan. We are all very close and we all help one another. And thanks to the technology, we are able to do that globally.
Okay. What do you see happening in this crisis that we're in now? How are you responding?
Well, actually, what we're seeing is that China itself has, to a large extent, and we hope it lasts, come through the crisis. Things are much better in China, and we are still making presentations and winning work. Things are going ahead. But it's not only in China. We're finding that it's happening in other parts of the world as well, because after all, our industry is not based on selling actual pieces of things. It's based on what we can create with our minds and our talents. So we can continue to work in that way, using the interconnectedness that we have globally.
Right. Do you have any solutions or recommendations for younger design firms that are earlier in their evolution in terms of things they can implement going forward?
Oh, sure. Number one, don't panic. That's the most important thing. Work remotely, of course, as much as you can, and the government is requiring that to a large extent right now. Interact virtually, even if you are just a small group. We have WeChat, we have Team, we have Zoom. We have a lot of capabilities to interact and to keep working and maximize the use of whatever BIM platforms you have. Take advantage of the virtual connectivity, not only for business, but also for keeping your people together. After all, in our industry, the only important asset that we have is our people.
Thank you so much for making time to share this with us, Moira.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're all in it together, and we will all survive together. Thank you.